The dough is absolutely perfect because it's elastic. It doesn't have too much flour, it doesn't have too much oil, it doesn't have too much anything. It's just absolutely great. It doesn't stick to your hands. If it's all sticky to your hands, then it's a really hard job to do. But if it's nice and elastic like this, nothing sticks to anything, and it's easy to get them real good.
So we put in arugula, thyme, what else?
Oregano?
Little rosemary?
Little rosemary. Did you put some oregano too?
No, just the thyme, arugula, and a little bit of rosemary. Experiment, right?
It smells like flour. I'll have to see what it smells like and tastes like after it's cooked. And yeah, they also, after you get them nice and big, they also shrink down. They're like the blob, the incredible blob. You get it all nice and thin and big, and then you pick it up and it shrinks down to this little thing that barely fits in the plate.
And over here is the other three-quarters that does not have any arugula or thyme or any green stuff in it. It's made out of honey and whole wheat flour, white flour, a little bit of salt, a whole bunch of yeast.
Did you put sugar in part of it too?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons of sugar, about equal amount of honey.
Put it in a paper plate. And put them in order over here. Raymond knows which ones to pick. When I have them on the paper plates for Raymond, I put them all out in order so he gets the oldest ones first and then works his way to the newest ones. By using the paper plates with a little bit of flour on the dough, they don't stick together. Heaven forbid you stack them all together, you're going to end up with a great big bunch of mush. Doing it this way is good, and we always can reuse the paper plates because they're really not dirty.
So this is the stove we're going to use to cook the pita breads. It's an Anderson TLUD, and at the bottom here I have a little fan. It's a very small laptop fan. It feeds into an olive can, and that through a little funnel thing that sticks in the bottom of the primary air input. So when I need a little extra air, or a little more fire, I just touch the battery thing over here, and she runs the fan and throws in a little more air. Not too much, but just a little bit. Up here we have the grate. I'll show you what I've loaded this with. On top I have some small pieces of cardboard and junk mail, which I will douse with a little bit of alcohol and throw a match in there, and that'll light the thing. Underneath that we have some dried mesquite bark and really bad wood, okay? And that's been dried. That's one there, and this is another pan over here. And this fills up the container. Once I get a good bed of coals, I like to add these chunks. Chunks work a lot better than fine things. You can just throw in a couple of pieces of this every time I put a new pita bread on, and it keeps the fire going good. These are hardwood chunks. Over here I have the softwood chunks. So once we light this thing up, we put the chimney on, and that goes on tight. And then on top of, we put the grate on, and then we have some pans. I'll get back to that later.
We're going to take a little video on how Raymond makes the pitas so well. And he kind of works back and forth from these.
It's already starting to bubble.
He's got, so that one has never been on the heat, it's just the heat that was in the pan?
Yeah.
Huh. So the heat that was in the pan caused it to come up that much, and
we decided we wanted them better.
it might be kind of hard for you to see that it's raised up. See if I can get a little bit of an angled shot here. Anyhow, it's developing the pocket on the inside. Then he takes the one that just had the finished one in it, and he's oiling it over there. And then he's going to go get another pita and put it in it. And he just goes back and forth like that for about an hour and a half. Until he's got 32 pitas made. Meanwhile, I've spent about an hour inside rolling the pitas out. And he spent some time earlier today. Oh, now there's a perfect one. That's the kind of brown I like to see. So I'm trying to show the thickness of it here. You can see right now it's about 2.5 inches high. It's pretty good, pretty darn good pita.
Steam in the middle.
There's steam in the middle, and when these are cooled, then they'll be flat. But then you can open them up and have a pocket inside to put whatever you want to put inside, like arugula, tabbouleh,
slices of ham,
ham,
slices of roast beef.
The perfect pita. Okay, now I'll show you how it kind of squishes down after a while. Let's see. It starts to deflate until after it's cooled down, it's just one little flat thingy. And Raymond just put some fuel on the fire, which amounts to these little sticks over here. He takes the pan off of the fire and drops the little pieces of wood in there, and that's how he keeps the fire going.
If it isn't hot enough, they won't rise.
Gotta have it hot enough. So this way, by using the two pans, he keeps from ever having, there he goes, putting another little stick in. That way he never has a cold pan. He just goes back and forth from one to the other, and in a while he's got a whole bunch of pitas.
Okay, we've finished cooking the pita breads. There's 32 of them. Take about 3 minutes a piece, so it takes about 90 minutes to cook them. And we've got our first skillet and our second black skillet. Our fuel down here. And here, over here, after the Anderson stove was finished, we dumped out the ashes, dumped out the coals into this bucket of water and stirred it up to put the smoke out. Then took those and put them in this tray over here. And this will be mostly torrefied wood and char for use in the garden and also for next time we cook. For a long, slow simmer, I like to use a charcoal. The Anderson stove. What I did, it has a, this is part of a tube from a swing set, and the swing set is goes into a coffee can inside, and inside the coffee can I have a piece of stovepipe, and I've crimped the top to give me the clearance for the secondary air. So this is the primary air down here. Secondary air goes in here, comes up, and there's a lid on this, so it goes into that top part in here. The lid is a stainless steel cover that I made a hole in with a restriction, and the hole, I've mounted a grapefruit juice can on top of that. That sits real tight in here. And then around that, I sometimes put this little heat shield. I've tried wrapping it with fiberglass and stuff like that. It's pretty hot up there.